Hey old soul, just over a year ago I sold everything I owned and moved to the land of Bali with my ex-husband and 3 kids. Now I live my dream life, traveling first class around the world, teaching others how to do the same. If you are ready for a life that is so abundant and free, where money flows like air so effortlessly that you don't even care because you are simply focusing on you and allowing everything to be true, then you are exactly where you need to be. Let me teach you how to be wildly abundant and insanely free. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Vibration of Wealth podcast. I am so fucking excited today because I have one of my absolute faves back on the show, Hayley Bowler-Cooke, the legendary author of the book Unfuckwithable. And guess what? Today is actually the 2-year anniversary for her book, which is so fucking exciting because not that we really subscribe to time in the crazy world that we do, but it is such a beautiful moment on the quantum grid to really celebrate how new the energy of this book still feels and how it's still being distributed and how it's getting out there and really awakening these codes to the masses. So I'm excited today to go deep with the codes of this book and play a little bit more with the activations, because the energy shifts so much. Obviously, we live in a world that's all empty space, but we need to shift into being able to embody these codes so that we can fully live out our soul's contract, live a life of alignment, live a life connected to God, source, universe, so that it really does feel like we're living heaven on earth. And when the 3D reality is crumbling, we are unfuckwithable. We're literally just like, yeah, well, the waves go in and the waves fucking go out. You're not going to break me. So let's go deep with some of the codes of this book and what you really feel like you found with the reader before and after the book, like how they've embodied this new version of them, what those codes look like, and how anyone listening, because you're going to get codes from this episode. Obviously, if you want to activate the codes deeper, definitely buy the book, but really just talk to us about what those codes look like, how we can start embodying them, and just really feeling into that energy. Because when you can unlock these codes, you're unstoppable.
Period. I have so many chills just listening to you talking about my book, because even just hearing you say it's the 2-year anniversary, like hearing that out loud, because it's 8:30 a.m. where I live in the world. And I know it's end of the day for you and it's the start of the day for me. So like I really haven't even like done any, media about my book today or anything like that, just because I'm just like waking up, to be honest. And it's like just this fresh energy of like, yeah, it's a 2-year anniversary. It is a big deal. And like you said, my book feels so fresh. It feels like my new baby still. Like, think of having a 2-year-old baby. You're not like old news. They're, like imagine you have a 2-year-old. You're just like, this is my little baby. Like, you're like, they're still your baby. I have a dog. She's 3. I'm not a mom yet. So I'm a dog mom. She's 3 years old. I introduce her like she's my brand new puppy. Like, when you write a book, it's your child, it's your legacy, it's your life, and it's gonna live out. Like, my kids will be making money off my book. You know what I mean? It's a legacy, period. Um, when you were talking about the activations that are in the book, I think that that's the exact word. The book activates you, it initiates you. So I wrote and channeled the book in a way that it would feel like I'm coaching the reader. So there's no escaping your highest timeline. It's one of those books you'll only read it when you're ready for it. I know so many people have texted and been like, I've had your book in my Amazon cart for 3 months, or like, I've had your book on the shelf for a year, and they're just like scared to go there because they know it's like that initiation. It's like, it's literally like when you sign up and you're like, okay, I'm going to do that plant medicine journey. It's like, you're going to face the truth of what you need, the medicine you need, the codes you need, the activations you need. There's no escaping it. My book, because it's channeled from infinite source, infinite intelligence, truth, it's like that. It's not like an easy read. It's not just like, I'm just gonna like flip through this. It's like, You
No.
open it up, you're gonna be dialed in. I'm a projector, I'm a direct channel. Like I wrote this like I'm speaking to your soul. You're gonna be pulled right in and you're gonna have no other choice because there's so many integration prompts throughout it. And I writ it as a transmission. So it's literally written as a transmission to hypnotize you while you're reading. I did it all on purpose. I do a ton of neural optimization and neural upgrading. So it's written in a way that your brain actually is like being hypnotized and programmed while you're reading it. So it's like an activation. You open it up, you read it. Nothing is the same, everything is different. This is one of my affirmations that I say at all my retreats after all my sessions and throughout the book. Nothing is the same, everything is different. So you enter a new timeline. It's literally like you're now merging with your highest, truest timeline. So the before and after for people, and what I love about my book is the testimonies and the reviews. And you can go on Amazon and read reviews. You can go on my website. There's way more on my website. A lot of people, because they feel so personally connected to me, like I'm coaching them, I'm always like, please leave a review on Amazon. And then they're just sending me emails that are like this long, or they're sending like DMs that are like this long of their review, which I love too. But obviously, from a business perspective, it's awesome when they're on Amazon. So if you do buy my book, please review it on Amazon. But the testimonials on my website for my book, there's so many there because people feel like I'm writing directly to them because I am. And then they send me or my team the testimonial, the review. And it's like this long, like from the soul space type of testimonial because it feels like you've been coached by me. It feels like you've been healed and supported and awakened, and it's like this very personal activation. Even though it's a book that thousands of people read, it hits you to your core, your soul. It's very individualized the way that I wrote it. So it's like a full remembering, and you will not be the same. People, I see the upgrades, it's so fun. Like people that haven't worked with me as a client, they've just read my book, and it's like before and after, body, energy, identity, personality, the way they show up, results. It's different because now they're unfuckable. And that just changes your reality.
So let's go back to, and obviously everyone listening in has done a lot of inner work. They've been on the journey. They get it. There's conditioning. But as the woman that birthed this into the world, what do you feel is the most dominant distortion in the field that blocks people from stepping into this remembrance of being unfuckwithable?
Mm. Oh, good question. I have chills as you're speaking. Again, Eva, you are like a total channel as well, and you're just owning your frequency, and I feel that. Um, the biggest one would be the illusion of separation. And I think most people know what that means, but I'll just explain it in practical terms. So, if you're not being unfuckwithable, you're not being the creator of your life. You're not being in the power seat in your life. And this isn't this hyper masculine. That's why I love when people get to meet me at book signings and they're like, oh, you're super feminine. Because maybe if you just look at my book, you might be like, oh, that looks like really like badass and whatever. And it's like, well, it is. It is really badass. I'm just fully embodied with a full spectrum, and I'm still growing and I'm still getting bigger in my energy. Don't get me wrong. Like I have so far to go still, but I have really mastered that expansion where I feel like I'm bigger in my energy than I am in my body. And the if the illusion of separation from a practical term, and I have a whole chapter called the dimension of openness, and it basically encodes the dimension of openness, which is the opposite of the illusion of separation, and therefore you can completely like release that and install the dimension of openness. Some people would call it oneness. Some people would say we are all one, we are all connected, there's no separation, things like that. That gets programmed throughout. But the illusion of separation is what happens when you see people moving through their life like they're a victim. And I think it's very sneaky at our level. So people listening to the Vibration of Wealth podcast, reading your book, getting coaching from you, you wouldn't look at them and go, they're a victim in their life, because they've created probably a lot of success. They're very confident in many ways. They're showing up. They're business owners. They're healers. They're creators. Like, they are living a really big life compared to most people. But the thing about our individuation to oneness, and I talk a lot about that in the book too, individuation to oneness, individuation to oneness. Our individuation, like I, Haley, you, Eva, we're talking as fragments of one another. We really are not separate. We really are one. I'm living out your life in Bali. You're living out my life here in Canada. Like, we really are one, but we individuate and have consciousness chooses to experience individuation and separation like this to understand the world, to relate, to heal, to learn, to explore, to experience. So we get the experience of separation, but we're not actually separate. We share the exact same coding, and we share the exact same physiology, and we share the exact same cells. Like, we are literally like blades of grass, but we're different blades of grass, So it's like there is so much same, but different. And when you choose to live a life of the illusion of separation, you start to feel like it's me against the world, or they are so lucky, or they're so successful, or you start to have, these negative feelings and programs about rich people or successful people or happy people or fit people or healthy people. And it starts to feel like they have it better than me. And I know that your audience and who's listening right now, they're not the type of people that are in that wound and that victimhood often. But if there are things in your life that you don't yet have, because your results tell the truth about your life. Your results tell the truth about the frequency that you're on and the frequency that you can maintain. So I believe that everyone listening has achieved amazing results, has received amazing results, but there are many results, including my fragmented self, Haley. There are many things that I have not yet achieved because I haven't held the power long enough of it. So it's really, there's sneaky levels when you get higher level. And it's like, you might not be walking around in victimhood or woundology or separation, but there is still illusions of separation at play, or you would have it all. You literally just would have it all. So the book and my work is about bringing you closer and closer and closer to the dimension of openness as your truth, like as just, it's not an identity you put on. It's not even like a self-image. It's not something you create. It's just, this is who I am. And that power, it merges timelines really quickly. And then when you're, say, in a in-between, as we always are, an in-between, a void, instead of viewing it as, I'm the victim, there's something wrong here, it's not here yet, everyone else is so lucky, whatever. And again, they're probably not that obviously disempowering thoughts at your level. Like the level you're on, it's probably more like you're sitting there smiling and pretending to be really happy, but you're kind of like feeling bitter or frustrated. It's more subtle. Like, it's because you are high level, you're not walking around with your wounds like everywhere, but you do feel that separation. And I'm saying this because I know this feeling. I totally know this feeling. And that feeling is not magnetic, and it's not powerful, it's not creative, but it is activating and catalyzing if we allow it to be. And some of the codes that I talk about in the book are transmuting that, transmuting the bitterness, transmuting the frustration, transmuting that it's, I'm not enough, it's not enough, it's not here yet. And we don't transmute that through just like saying it over and over again. There's deep healing to be done. I literally take you through deep healing in the book. There's deep self-awareness and discovery and just like being with yourself, like sitting in it sometimes of like, oh yeah, this is like really dark shit that's coming up right now, and not escaping and not abandoning parts of yourself, but being with yourself. And when you get so powerful and unfuckwithable and big in your energy, you can just literally sit in any of it and feel powerful through it. Like you could feel such intense like bitterness or jealousy, and you could be like, oh, this is good. This is activating something. This is a new feeling. Like I know when I feel pain, lately my nervous system's been expanding so much. So I've been feeling pain that I haven't felt before, physically and emotionally, and even energetically. And I'm like, whoa, this is good. And like, I'm grateful for this. And it's teaching me, and I'm learning, and I'm literally growing. Like, I can feel like expansion happening in my body. And that's what being unfuckwithable is. It's just like, thank you. Thank you. It's either thank you more, please, which I write about in my book, thank you more, please, or it's thank you for showing me where I need to reclaim power. That's it. It's like you're alive, you're grateful for the amazingness, and then the hard, because you know you're unfuckwithable and you know your destiny is guaranteed in this timeline. And it's just a matter of constant merging with that timeline.
So I'm curious, what
Hmm.
was your initiation from being the woman that had, and anyone listening, obviously, self-doubt is a part of the human experience, but when you get to this level, I find personally it flickers. It's like 2 seconds, you remember who you are. Like it's just like, no, no, this is what we do. This is who we're holding. This is my identity. Thank you. Goodbye. I'm curious how you went from the woman that had a lot of self-doubt, that was dealing with all the things that you dealt through, going through school, going through college, to this woman that like just locked into this unfuckwithable energy. For you, and I know personally for me, I can feel it as a projector, like locking into the code. Like I just feel it. I'm like, whoa, I'm here. I'm curious
Yeah.
to know what your journey was and the initiation. If there was a material initiation that you can remember that was obvious when you were going through this journey, because yeah, I feel like people like they love listening to all this energy stuff, and we can channel for days, but they're like, okay, cool. How do I see it physically in this tangible world? What
Yeah.
things should I expect? Everyone's different. I do believe that as the ego dies, things do need to fall away. Yes, that's a belief. We can remove it, but there's always winter. There's always life and death. There's always rebirth. So I'm curious if there's any solid memories where you're like, holy shit, that was
Yeah.
it. That was the boom, boom, boom. The 3D was just like bam, bam, bam. Was it something
Yeah.
big that happened? Was it that you were just like, fuck, I'm not going to do this anymore? Like, I'm just curious to know what that moment was. And you were just like, boom, or was it this slow journey? So paint us the picture.
Yeah, so I was raised by very conscious parents. Like my mom owns a retreat center. My dad coached in the Olympics. He was a teacher, a coach, a mentor. Like I was raised with true empowerment. I was raised with you can be, do you have anything? If anything, I was raised to be like delusional. And I'm so grateful for that. And nobody's childhood's perfect. Nobody's life is perfect. There's constant opportunities to grow. I had unfuckwithable confidence. That's like one of the first page of my book. I was born like this, like straight up, because we all are. Straight up, we all are. How early is the conditioning going to get installed and start fucking with shit is the question. Um, I've always had this. I've always been a leader. I've always been magnetic. I've always owned this energy. For me, the initiations were just like they penetrated so deep that like I had no choice but to be unfuckwithable, because I was always just happy, joyful, successful. Things came easy to me. And if they didn't, I didn't care. I remember like being the star athlete at my school, and being pretty good at school. Like my grades were quite good, but my goal was always how many days a week can I miss of school for sports? I was like, if I play on every sports team, I only have to go to school 1 day for 2 weeks. Like, yeah. So I was like that, right? And I ended up going to university, being on the dean's honor list, graduating with from clinical kinesiology at one of the most like prestigious universities in Canada, Western University. So like I'm smart, but I just never really felt like I couldn't do anything. And I had this like confidence. Like it wasn't even cockiness. It was just like, no, I can just do it. So I remember I was really bad at math, like according to teachers, right? And I had to go to like math help and stuff. And like I just remember it like I don't know. I remember like not being ashamed by it. I just remember like sitting in math help and being like, yeah, like I'm getting help. Like I don't know. I just was like, I need help. Like I don't know. It was like really pure. I feel like things really took a I also want to mention this. This was part of pivotal for me. I worked in fine dining from the age I was like 14. I started to develop really expensive taste, and my parents were like, "Okay, you need to get a job because like we're not out here buying you a designer bag. You're 14." And it didn't even make sense. I grew up in a small town. Like I was born in Toronto, a big city in Canada, and then we moved to a small town when I was little for like a really like holistic kind of healthy life. And yeah, I just was like this little rich bitch at a young age. And then my parents like, hey, go get a job. So I was like, well, I'm not working at like Tim Hortons or like McDonald's, like ew. Um, and then I found like the fanciest restaurant within 15 minutes of our house. I started working there. I worked there for like 10 years. I worked there through college, university, and I was just like developed like standards. I developed like an expanded consciousness, like, oh, you come here and you eat these beautiful foods and you stay at this gorgeous inn and you drive these cars. Like, and my brain was just like, without trying to expand my consciousness, I was expanding my consciousness. So I wanted to name that. But I remember one day at work, I get a phone call and my mom's on the other end of the phone and she's like, Haley, you need to come home. And she would never do that. Like I was a ride or die for my job. Like I literally would like miss school and sports for my job. Like I was like, it was like a cult, I think, because I was seriously so obsessed with it. Anyways, she would never do this, but she was like, you need to come home. And I was like, who's dead? Like it was totally like, all right, someone's fucking dead. I gotta go. Like I remember just blacking out and being in shock and just driving home. She wouldn't tell me anything. I get home, my dad's not home. Let me tell you this, my parents had a literal like love story fantasy life. Like they people wanted to be my parents. All my friends were like, I want to be your parents when I grow up. You know, like they were just like always kissing and like both really attractive and really successful and just like they just looked like they loved each other all the time, you know? And it was real. They did love each other for sure. And maybe some of it was also performative and also it's complicated. You know, like I'm a little high school kid. I don't know what the hell's going on. But they deeply loved each other, but they also had a lot of hard shit, like any relationship. So I get home, my sister and my mom are there bawling, and my dad's nowhere to be found. And I still am like, is he dead? My dad at the time rode motorcycles too. So I was like, what happened? You know, it was like this summer, like anything could happen. And basically eventually, like it felt like years, but eventually my mom told me what was going on, but it literally was just like probably an hour. But I was like, what the fuck's happening? So my nervous system's expanding. I had a really safe and like my parents were very conscious parents. So like I didn't have to like expand that much. Like I wasn't one of those kids that had like fighting in the house or anything where your nervous system has to be like, we're safe, we're okay. Like it was very safe. So this was like really hard, but a blessing because my nervous system like quantum leapt. I became like a giant of like, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to die. Everything's okay. Right. My dad and my mom separated. No one knew. It just happened like that day in my consciousness. So my dad took his motorcycle. He drove on his motorcycle out west and he spent like a month out west. So he didn't say goodbye. He just went. And like, this is like my dad, who was like my volleyball coach, like he was my like best friend. Like it was just so shocking to my nervous system that he was just gone. And I was like I would have thought it would have been way more believable if like someone died, you know, versus that. I'm like, no, this isn't right. So that was a huge initiation for me. It made me expand in my nervous system and my capacity, but it also made me expand in love and forgiveness. I was really mad at my mom. I thought she must have done something wrong. Like it was a serious mother wound that like activated that day. And it took a long time to heal. Like I think it fully healed with my near death experience that I had last year. Like it was just like this it was like an abandonment thing, but it was like I wanted to blame someone. I blamed her. Like my dad wouldn't leave. You made it. Like it was this whole thing. And a lot of that was done consciously and with kindness. But inside, I was like mad. And that was a huge initiation. My fiance to this day was my partner at the time. We've been together for 13 years. We met. Oh yeah, so I guess I wasn't in high school. I was just out of college. That's what it was at this time. I was just out of college. So I remember Mitch, my fiance, being so supportive to me at that time. And like I have texts, like I've screenshotted texts from like my old phone from him that are just like, you're gonna be okay. Like we're gonna work through this. Cause like it was horrible for me because I literally was like, my parents are the best parents ever and they're so in love. I'd love to fast forward. My parents are together. They took a month. They're back. They're a team. They have their work to do. We all do. But they are a unit. They are a team. They love each other more than anything. But it was like that month it rocked me because I was like, my dad's gone. What the fuck? So like I have so much understanding now just from that 1 month of like people who dealt with that as a kid. Like anyone whose parents are divorced or anyone like that shit is real and it does create some real shit. So that was big. My parents are thriving now and like I'm so grateful they made the conscious choice to choose each other again and again and again and again. And I know that that's not easy, but our family is a unit again and it feels like what my nervous system needed, but I also needed that expansion. Another really hard one was Mitch lived in Australia for a year. And again, it's like the layers, it's like on a superficial layer, I was like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm so happy for him. This is great. But like the true layer was like, this is really hard, like truly, really hard. And I'm not going to get into details because I just don't talk about it publicly. But a few things happened that really like damaged and then damaged our relationship. But the most profound, this was the biggest initiation of my life. The most profound healing happened because of that. The most profound love. Like I literally talk about nervous system expansion. I could feel my body expanding. And I was like, yeah. Like I became like a dragon. Like I could just feel expansion happening. And I was like, I remember talking to my mom, and she is the universe in human form. That's what I call her. She has such a capacity for love. And we had a conversation because I was fighting this alone. Like I was just like, I'm not talking to anyone. Like, and I was such a social, like I'm like a socialite. And I was like, no, I'm not like leaving my room. Like I was just like, it was a dark summer for me. I was like, I'm not going anywhere for like a couple weeks. And then I talked to my mom and she really like kind of interviewed me and like coached me and like just held space. And I was like, and she's like, what do you really feel? I'm like, I feel so much like love. Like it was like this weird feeling. It's like, I love more than I've ever loved right now. And my heart, through pain, through anger, through like forgiveness, and then love, I was like, I just didn't know I could love that hard. And I just like loved. And that was a huge thing for Mitch and I to go through as like young people. And it's so old now. It's so old news, but it like that was a huge initiation. So it was like my parents, that with Mitch, and then there was like this stretch of time. Like I feel like those were so deep, like you couldn't deny it. It was like I'm on the floor, like I'm literally praying on the floor. I'm like, and I was young, like I was like freaking early 20s, right? Like I wasn't out here like consciously praying and manifesting and asking for help. Like I was just like, I don't know what else to do. Like I'm on the floor crying and praying is what I'm doing because this is where I'm at. Where I had a few of those initiations in my first couple of years of business where like, fuck it, it gets hard at times, you know, and you're like, am I going to be successful? What is this? Like it for me, it always felt like a calling. Like it was always like, you have to do this. You have to do this by like this consciousness speaking to me. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. And it was like this calling. And that's the same as the book. The book was a calling. You're writing the book now. Okay. Like it was just like, it's a calling. And I had to become very strong for many reasons. Like there were many times where I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna fucking do this. And then I would be like on the ground crying and praying and like not by like, oh, this will be really good like for me to do, but just like feeling like I had no other option. And then but those felt so minor compared to like my parents and then Mitch and then lots of those nights, like probably like one every couple months for a couple years, which is like pretty big for your nervous system. And then fast forward to my near death experience, which was the biggest initiation of my life. And it made everything, the healing with Mitch, the healing with my mom, the healing with my business, the healing with my career choice, the healing with my, like, the anything that felt like superficial layers, they just were like, nope. Like anything about, you know, worthiness, like worthiness was so intense. Like I was worthy, I was confident, I was this, and that when all these great things were going my way. But when I was like concussed, my heart literally stopped and restarted. So I was like pretty fucked up for a couple months. Like I couldn't move, couldn't work, couldn't make money, couldn't do anything, didn't look the same, didn't feel the same. Like everything that was my like, I'm so amazing was just like gone. And then it was like, whoa, I actually need help. I needed help from people. And those were the biggest initiations of my life that and I say to people, like, I wrote the book Unfuckwithable, but I really became unfuckwithable after my book was out because the near death experience really made me unfuckwithable. And when I go back and read my book, I'm like, it's like I knew that was coming because I wrote in this energy of like, this could happen. And it did. It's like I asked for it.
So profound. And thank you for sharing all of those
I'm sorry,
insane
that was
moments.
so
And you
long.
can tell, no,
Oh,
no, no. You can tell that you've done the work, you've healed. I think the thing for anyone listening that's really important to remember is when you birth something or when you're the teacher for something, you're going to go through those initiations. Like
yeah.
you have to. It's you have to be the leader. You have to practice what you preach. Like for me with wealth, the number of times money's been stripped away and I've had to just look at the field and go, I'm still abundant. It
Mm,
all comes in like it's like you until you can get to that 0 point gravity, that clean state where you're like, well, I wrote the book. Of course, I'm going to embody this frequency. Like I am the teacher of this medicine. And I feel like people don't like to say God's always testing us, but the vessel always needs to expand. That's awakening. That's truth. And you don't get to have the title when you're not constantly going through these metamorphosis processes. And it's so beautiful to hear and witness and just remember, and this is why your book is so important, because initiations are part of the process. It's not about trying to avoid the initiation, trying to outrun the initiation. It's trying to get to an energetic signature where you are unfuckwithable and you can embody a frequency during the initiation that's going to serve you, that's going to allow you to expand into your soul's medicine, what you're put on this planet to experience, and not outrun it, because this is what your soul chose. Your soul chose the expansion. As you said, you experienced the greatest love of your entire life through that pain. And everyone says this when they're going through these huge contractions. It's like, yes, there's tension in the chrysalis, but you become a butterfly. And you can't become a butterfly until you go through the tension. You can't go forward until the arrow goes back in. And It's so beautiful. I love that you have really been through that. And I love that you did have conscious parents to prove the theory that there are always initiations. You can't outrun the
No.
initiation. And I don't believe that even when the field is pure and clean, the initiation will still be there, but the energetic signature in which we can view the initiation and dance with the initiation won't be so painful, won't be so intense. We'll be able to dance with the pain and love it and journey with it and really truly enjoy it. And you've done that so beautifully. I love that you are so embodied in your work. And just really quickly before we finish up, what is next for you? Like, is there anything else that's coming through? Is there exciting things for the next year, or you're a bit like me and we can't plan anything? We've just got to wait for the channel. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I plan a lot of things and then I'm like, nope, it's not happening because it just, but one thing I wanted to say, and I just appreciate you for listening to that whole story so presently and lovingly. And I just felt like held and healed talking about it, even though I talk about it a lot, it's just like a different vibe that you were giving me. So I really appreciate that. Um, but one thing I wanted to say too before I close out is the three initiations I just shared were shocking to me. Like, rug swept under, you did not see that coming. And to me, they stuck in my head the most because, to be honest, I'm actually someone who seeks out the edge a lot. So if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, I guess I'll just wait around for like something crazy to happen to expand my nervous system, I was expanding my nervous system all the time. Like, I do every single day. How can I be a little more edgy here? Like, seek the edge, lean into the edge. Those three initiations just really stood out to me. But if there was a documentary crew following me around, they'd be like, holy shit, this girl's expanding her nervous system every day. So I want to make that crystal clear. They stood out to me because I didn't ask for them consciously, but they rocked me in like the scariest and the biggest and the most expanded way. But every single day, I'm leaning into an edge and asking for an edge. And there's a chapter in my book called The Edge of Evolution. And it's about leaning into the edge. And if you're like, some people don't need to go out and seek edges, but because there's a lot happening. So if you're someone who you feel like, whoa, a lot's coming at you, you're not a victim. You're actually in the power seat and you can be super grateful for that. If you're someone who's things are coasting right now, but you're claiming and saying you're ready for your next level, you shouldn't feel like you're coasting. It would if you're really in the merging with your next level, you're gonna feel turbulence for sure. And it's just a matter of how quick you can shift. Like I'm trying to even remember over the weekend. Like I feel like from like Thursday to like today, it's Tuesday morning. I think I had like 10 nervous system shaking, expanding things happen in my relationships, in my finances, in my career, and in my lifestyle that were just like some were really big and awesome. Like, whoa, thank you. And then some were like, but that takes regulating too. And then some were really like, this is like a hard decision, but I know that this is what I need to do. And like, what would my highest, truest form and function do? They would do this. Okay, done. We're doing it. So there's no days off being radically responsible, and there's no days off being unfuckable, and there's no days off like choosing. Like, even back when I was in university, like destined to be a doctor or destined to be like a chiropractor, I was like, I think I'm going to start a podcast. I was like, let's go this way, like, and it wasn't even, I think I'm going to start one. I remember the day driving to university. I was staying at Mitch's in another city, and then I was driving to Western in London. And I was like, the like sky opened and I got this download, and I was young. I didn't even plan, like, I didn't even know channeling or anything. And it was like, you're going to start a podcast with your sister. And I called my sister. I was like, should we start a podcast? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And like, that's literally how this all started. It was called Uplift Lifestyle Podcast. It's still called Uplift Lifestyle Podcast. Now it's just me, but like, that's how it all started. Like, I was being brave and unfuckable. I wasn't thinking like, I don't know if I'm good enough. Like, and if I did have those thoughts, I don't really remember them. I think I was just like, it's a calling, I'm doing it. So there's no days off this. And you're obviously going to have moments in your life where you're like, whoa, that was a huge initiation. But like, I feel like I'm initiating all day, every day. And if you're not living, you know? And we're here to live. Like, you're doing it, I'm doing it, everyone listening, do it and do it a little more. Like I always say to my clients, and they're like, oh yeah, it's all, it's getting amazing, it's all good, it's great. But yet there feels like there's this next thing. It's like, first off, make sure you're not just like seeking and chasing all the time, because like chill the fuck out. But secondly, there is something more for you. And whatever you think you know, go learn more. Whatever you think you've mastered, go master it more. Like, there are so many levels to the game. And I work with like multimillionaires, high performers. They're at the top of their industry and there's new levels for them. And it's like, oh, you think you're living that? Let's really see. Like, it's not, you don't just turn it on. You don't just like, oh, I'm abundant now. It's like, no, no, no. Hold that staying power, lean in. Like, there's so many levels. And that's what I really wanted to make clear. What's next for me? I'm just like you, Eva. I have no idea. I have no idea what's next for me. Planning my dream wedding right now. Like, we're getting married in Greece. It's basically planned. The wedding's basically planned. We can't wait. It's exactly how we want it to be. It's all about privacy and intimacy and the specialness of what we have. Like, it's like, that's what it's about. I just had my dream bridal shower. It was basically a wedding. It was like the most stunning thing I could have ever asked for, put on by my mom and by Mitch's mom. So personal life's amazing. We're planning our next home, our new dream home. Babies are coming. I'm connecting with my spirit babies every single day. I feel them so close. Babies, new home. My career is just growing and expanding. It's just a calling. It's not even like, how can I grow my career? It's just like, we're growing. So whatever comes is ready. Like, I'm ready. I started this year very much like, it's time for fame. It's time for like big media. It's time to be on these big podcasts. It's time to be on TV in these ways. It's time for this. It's time for that. And like, I wanted it. I wanted it. I wanted it. I got all these amazing opportunities. I met people that like, it was crazy. Like, I was out on a yacht and I met this other person. There was only like 100 people. And she was like, oh yeah, like I was on Good Morning America and I had all these shows. She was like 80. She's now like my mentor. Like, I've just like met the right people. The things are happening. And I'm just like, it's all going to happen when it happens. And my vibe is like, I'm just living presently, but living intentionally. Like, again, no days off. So I don't know what, honestly, I don't know. I started this year and I was like, I'm going to do my audiobook. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then it's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Here's what you're doing instead. So we'll see what happens.
You're just being paid to exist. That's all it is. And I love what you said. There are no days off. They're like, that's why we have to be paid to exist, because there's no days off. We never get a second off. We have a spa, we get the download. We're always working. The inner work never fucking stops. It's 24/7. And I love it. I love every second of it. And I love how you articulated that so beautifully. For anybody listening in, find Hayley in the show notes below. You can check her out on Instagram, YouTube, podcast, all the things. Definitely go buy her book. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Is there any really, really, really quick 2-second piece of advice you'd like to leave everyone with? Last words.
I would just like to say this. You can literally choose to initiate yourself right now. Like, right now, it's like, yep, from this moment forward, this is a line in the sand. Nothing is the same. Everything is different. Say it, say it, say it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Timeline merges. You're in that new timeline. Now there's no going back. Like, once you step there, that's the best thing. It's like, you're in that timeline now. So there's no turning back. So everything that happens from that moment forward, pay attention. It's for your either confirmation of like, you're fucking doing it, girl, keep going. Or it's like, here's where you get to grow. Here's where you get to actually be the match. Here's where you get to actually learn. Here's where you get to actually heal. So like, start now, pay attention. I've been living like this for years, like literally years, where it's just like, oh, there's this, and then there's this. And then people go, oh, she's so lucky. Oh, she has it all of this. I ask for this every day. I initiate myself every single day. So initiate yourself and just fucking do it. Like it's happening now. It's not a coincidence. There's no such thing. The universal laws are way more. The energy and consciousness that created you is way more brilliant than just da, 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 oh, there, it just happened. It's like, no, no, this is by design. So get in touch with that. That's all.
That's all. Just drop a massive timeline shift bomb. That's all. Enjoy your 10 years collapsed in 2-second quantum leap, guys. Thanks. Be on your merry way. Good luck. Oh, thank you so much for coming. I love having you. You are such a phenomenal, phenomenal soul. Never stop doing the work that you're doing because it's just changing so many lives and this world needs you. You are a true blessing, a true light, a true goddess, priestess, ascended master. Thank you. Big love.
So are you, Eva. Thank you.